Hi, so I might do today's video in two parts, mainly because, well, as you can see, I haven't uploaded it in a while, so I'm gonna start with this, and just an update on how it's going, then I'll do the reading the Bible, but that will come, I'll do two videos today. One will be this, the update, next one we think, so mainly because there's a lot of things to talk about. One, the sermon today was brilliant, and the sermon last week. And a thing that happened in summer circle. And there's a lot to talk about. But the first thing, it is April, which is Gay Month, I think. Pride Month is the word. Anyway, so I thought it was a perfect time to ask you, how the fuck do you buy a binder? If any of you knew, how do you go about do that process? I do have non-cis friends. I probably will ask them too. But if you have any tips on how to go about doing that, please, because I think I'm ready to actually fully admit to myself that they, them pronouns are the best pronouns. Sometimes I do still, there are sometimes where it's like, I wouldn't mind she, her, but it's getting less and less often. So that's a thing. And I really do like it when I even refer to myself as she, her. I still probably demi, not fully gender non-binary, or maybe I am fully gender non-binary. I don't know. I still like the term daughter, daughter or sister, but they them pronouns definitely from now on, please. I will be changing that on my introduction video. If you didn't notice, that was an edit that was made afterwards, kind of thing of they pronouns, she, they, because this is me fully not acknowledging it. I'll actually tell you how it came out. Well, it came out to myself, because this is the first time I'm coming out to anyone really. I was kind of listening to a podcast, and then I couldn't, because they were talking about clothing and how people feel about clothing and gender, and I couldn't listen to it because I'd accepted that men could wear dresses, but half my argument for myself being female was that I liked skirts, which isn't fun, because I was that kind of hit me hard, and then I kind of broke down in the shower and said, I think I'm this, and I just felt God going to me, yes you are, thank you for realizing. That took you way longer than it should have. And I kind of feel a bit bad about that, but also, it makes me feel weird, because, a lot of people are these people, aren't Christian. It's I'm pretty sure God literally told me what my gender was, so I'm pretty sure I'm on the right track. I'm pretty sure I'm doing the right thing. And then I kind of accepted that, and then kind of moved on and didn't do anything about it. I'm let's just ignore this piece of information, which was fun, but yeah, now I'm doing something about it. They, them pronouns, please. He. Other things, sermon was great. Even greater was the songs, worship. Basically it was the last song was you never get, your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me, and basically it was basically saying that God's love is infinite and stuff, and just always there, always there, and it's yes, that is very accurate. The sermon also made me realize that my life really is, and it was sort of also something that was based on what happened in summer circle when I was teaching the kids. Basically, there's another uni student there who also helps, and they were kind of the foundation of God, one of the things to found your life on as a Christian is the concept of loving yourself and loving your neighbor. And I was that sounds wrong. And to me, it was to me, I said a good foundation for love is prayers of some lament, basically complaining to God, because we've been talking about that in small group and stuff, and it was yeah, that's more of a foundation than loving others and loving yourself, because loving others and loving yourself is really, really hard to do, and it's not actually a foundation for faith. It's something that you do because you have faith. It's not what your faith is built on, because if your faith's built on that idea, it's going to crumble and topple. Your faith has to be built on something stronger, something steeper. It needs to be built on the fact that God loves you. And that was basically what this sermon was about. It was God loves you, God's there, God has a plan for you. You might not see it yet, but you can ask why. Why is normally, when I ask why, it's some people see it as a negative question. In my mind, why has never been a negative question when I ask God why. I don't know, but then again, I'm not asking because I think, I'm not asking why it's happening to me. I'm asking God, why? I am kind of asking why is it happening to me, but I'm more asking as why? What are you doing? It's more of a what question. I say why because English is hard, but it's it's more of a what? What are you doing here? I don't know. I want to partner with you. I'm kind of confused right now. Can you please give me an idea of what I'm supposed to be doing? Because I'm definitely supposed to be doing something. I just don't know what it is, and I can't do it and explain it more. And sometimes he doesn't answer for a while. It's like until you realize he was answering the whole time, and he was shoving in your face, and you were knowingly ignoring it. And sometimes that doesn't happen, and it's kind of like, whoopsie daisy, my bad. But like it's also good. It's like sometimes it's like when you ask that question, God goes, okay, so you really are that oblivious. Let's put it down right in front of you. And it's kind of like, oh, and you still go, oh, I should have got that 2 years ago. But I just ignored all the signs because, haha, this is what I want to do. And it's, God's like, you're going to, no, just no. Which is kind of fun, but it's kind of leading me where I am. Like, I'm going to learn to be a teacher now, which is not something I ever thought I was going to do. But I think God definitely wanted me to do the whole time. And something I'm definitely interested in the whole time, but basically there were other things, but I was like, haha, no. There are other things that got in the way. But I'm there now, and it's going to be exciting and awesome, and yeah, like, I got into Griffith, like, I'm actually going to study teaching at uni. It's called the Bachelor of Education, but yeah, that's freaking awesome. And just things like that have been going on in my life, and I've actually gone really stressed lately, and it's like, oh, I think I know what the cause of the stress is, but I also don't know how to get rid of the cause of the stress, because I basically got a second job, and second job might be the cause of the stress, but I also don't know how to get rid of it, because I've like only just started working there, and I don't think I can quit yet. So I'll go in the terms and conditions, and like if it doesn't get better in the next year, I'll probably be quitting. If I can balance things out, maybe, I don't know. But that was a very big thing of like, I was really excited getting the new job, and then first day, and I'm like, this is not going to work out, is it? And then the next few shifts, I'm like, as much as I'm enjoying doing some of the work, it's just causing a general background level of stress, and it's like, this is fun, not. So like, this is just updates in my life. But anyway, it's Palm Sunday. That's awesome. Easter Sunday's next week. That's also really awesome. And my sister definitely isn't Christian, which isn't so awesome. And that's, I'm trying to deal with that. Because, like, I don't understand why. And it's stupid because I can understand why all my friends aren't. And, like, I'm trying to help them, but I don't understand why she's not. So, like, I don't know how to help, even begin to try and help her. So that's fun. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on in my life. God loves you. And he always loves you. And even the pain and suffering, like, there was this, they made a statement at church. It was like, God will use this for good. Like, God will use this pain and suffering for good. And I was like, no, God is. But in my mind, it's like, no, God is. God already is. Like, when you're going through those times of trial, God is already there and he's already working through. It's either character building or it's the fact that sometimes you just have to live in that fire and then express your faith through that. And sometimes that's how God's using you and turning you for good. Because, see, people will look at your grand faith, even in the face of the fire, even when you're standing on the fire, and it's like, why isn't this fire bothering you? You are standing in the flames and you are not getting hurt. How will the hell help? Like, what's going on there? And it's like, because I believe in the Lord my Father, and he is good. And it's like, sometimes God's never going to take, because like, they'll say, eventually one day you'll be out of flames. And I'm like, sometimes you're not. Sometimes it's chronic pain and you're just going to have that for the rest of your freaking life. And God's going to be there. And God's going to be with you. And you're going to have a wondrous, brilliant life despite of that. Because people can, with chronic pain, have wondrous lives. And God's going to help with that. Like, he's never going to God's never focuses on, he's never going to take away the suffering. He's just going to use your suffering for good. He's going to use it to grow you and make you better and bring you closer to him and bring others closer to him. Your suffering, at the same time, your suffering will go away. It won't go away on earth, but it will go away in heaven. Once we get to heaven, everything's going to be sunshine and rainbows. But until then, we live in a broken world, and suffering's never really going to get away. Maybe the storm, and maybe for some people the storms will change, but you're never going to not be in a storm. You're just going to be at the eye of it, and you're going to be able to help. Maybe some of your thing will be able to guide people out of the depths of the darkness and into the eye of the storm, where everything's just a bit calmer. Like, everything's raging around you, but it's safe here. You can build your life here. You can be strong here. And sometimes that means you build a house there, and then you go back into the storm and you reach for people in the storm. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Because you will stand in the fire and you will not be burned. You'll walk underwater and not drown. Because God is amazing. God is love. And he loves you, and his love on you will never run out. So yeah, happy Pride Month. Get tips for buying binders, and God loves you. Bye!